Morning! Well, my squash is tied up, and as hexy as all this looks, it's just so that I can get my squash leaves to grow upwards a little bit more. I have done the same kind of thing to my pumpkin. I have tightened up his strings so that he will grow for the next couple of days, going outwards further and further. That is kind of the idea. Seems to be working. Dillweed, happily growing. Love it. Super simple. My wonderful weeds. And my peppers galore. Goodness, I have a lot of peppers. These two are going to get transplanted into some buckets because there's like 5 plants and each of them needs some more room. And they're huge now, so they're at that point where I need to put them where they need to go, period. So they can grow and possibly fruit. Oh, look, these babies are doing better now. Look, see? Okay, I am super, super glad that they're surviving in their buckets. I didn't know if they would, so since then, I was slightly worried. I also know that these ones also need to be transplanted to their own individual buckets as things go, but that's okay. I will get there once I have some more buckets free. Till then, I'm a little behind. Oh boy, look at this. Goodness, it's getting so freaking green. I love it. I hope I've planned this right. I don't know about the spinach. See, the thing is I grew spinach in 2 places because I wasn't sure what would happen if it didn't get enough sun, right? Because these cauliflower are going to overgrow these spinach in no time. So I actually don't know what's going to happen. Freaking ick. Skeeters. Anyway. And my sugar snap peas are starting to come to the end of their tree here. So this one has finally figured out that it is at the top and that this is as good as it gets. And this one's finally figuring it out. All the rest of them are just waiting. I might continue that little sprig so that he goes up this long string so that he doesn't end up being as short as the others. He's a little gangly, but all the rest of them has shot up this stick, and they're going to figure out that they're kind of at the top of their reach now, because I'm not going to continue to pin them back. I'm going to let them flop and figure it out. Some of them might not, and you never know. Might have to go in and pinch them. But they're amazingly resilient. Like, look at how twisted up that is. They're super resilient. They've been twisting and going all different directions, and just snap peas are amazingly cool in the fact that they thrive by going this way and that way and winding all over the place, and they just get stronger most of the time. Unless, of course, you snap them off. Actually, speaking of which, I had one that I had snapped off, although I don't know where he is at the moment. I do know that there's like a ton of bajillion ants on these beans. They love it. I don't know where I snapped him off. I cannot find him. I don't know. Maybe he grew back and grew a second tendril and just was wachowing. This lovely lettuce is flowering. I don't know what kind of lettuce it is. I think it might be parsley. I'm not really sure. I've got to look it up. And I did save that cucumber. He is over there now with all the other cucumbers. So he's got his own pot, and he should be able to figure himself out now. And the rest of these, I am attempting to convince that this stick is its home, and that this is this stick, and this one's going to go up that trellis. I hope. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to vertically them so that they are forced. I'm going to string them up later once they're a little bit longer. Right now they're still not quite tall enough to reach, so I'm not going to string them up because I don't want to hurt them. Ooh, and look at these peas. They're huge. Okay, I'm going to take this one. So good. Not very pea-ish though, so I'm gonna let them grow. But the pod is very tasty still. So that is a huge awesome. Carrots are, I hope, okay. One or two of these might have died off. A couple of them might have had a bad time. But I'm hoping that in a few weeks after the leaves have healed from the whole transplanting thing, that they'll be better. And then my bush beans, oh my goodness, it's like I come out here and every day there's a new bush. Like each plant has put out more and more leaves. So they're just bushing like mad. Of course, they are being shaded by the corn and the sunflowers back there. So they're probably getting a lot better shade. Oops. Elbow on a carrot. And these ones up here are getting burnt. And they're not growing as fast. It's very, very cool to see exactly where in the garden the sun is getting to each of my plants and what it's really affecting. Because look, those ones are like super bushy, not a burnt leaf to be seen. And I mean, these ones are super thready. Maybe they are getting more shade. I don't really know. I know this poor one. This one's probably getting fertilizer burnt. And possibly getting burnt by ants. I'm not really certain. But I think it might be getting a little bit fertilizer burnt since I did dump an absolute ton of fertilizer in here in the last couple of weeks. And it was in this empty spot. So it's quite possible that the roots from that one were in this hole or close to this hole. And we're getting a little bit too much fertilizer, water, etc. A little bit too much sun. Like this plant, this specific one, is the only one doing this. So I don't know for sure what's up with him. But he's doing good. He's still creating beans, so I can't complain. Oh, I should probably get rid of this now. The fun part about having a hugelkultur kind of like thing is that some of the weeds I can actually just leave and let them grow. Because they're just kind of growing in between all of this. They're using this dirt and grass and sticks that is between where this piece of wood is and these sticks. So they're actually breaking up the wood and sticks and dirt and things with their roots. So I'm kind of leaving them to grow a little bit. The ones that are up here that are a little bit closer to my actual plants, those ones I tend to pull out. But these ones down here, I let them grow because they might as well break up some of it before it gets moved. And it doesn't seem to be hurting my plants any. They're not taking seemingly much away from my plants because my plants are growing wonderfully. So everything in this garden's an experiment, and this experiment just seems to be working. My sunflowers and my corn are growing super tall. And sadly, something is eating my sunflower leaves. Like, I cannot find what it is, but they're jerks, whatever they are. I'm sure it's more of those stupid cabbage beetles. Very annoying. These weird jumping brown ones, which I think are the females. Ugh. Come out here and I get all the bugs that are on my plants, and I hope that I've captured most of them. I look for all the little patches to see if there's aphids. Amazingly, I actually have not seen any clumps of aphids yet, but I have seen a ton of ants. So I'm sure they're around somewhere. My eyes don't see them, man. So I am still hopeful, and I keep taking care of them to the best of my ability, and I hope that's good enough so that they can flourish into beautiful sunflowers. I would love to have sunflowers. I love sunflower seeds, and I freaking love sunflowers, and I've heard that you can cook the flower itself. And I want to try a couple of things. I think it'd be really fun and really cool. But you never know what you're going to get until you start growing, and then you try, and that's all you can do. So you do good research and you hope. All right, these are my cucumbers, which I need to help tie up a little here by pushing them through their places. So that's where I'm gonna go. And my watermelon, who knows? Ooh, 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 new leaves, new leaves. I see new leaves. So here's hoping that my watermelon can continue to do its thing, since now this one at least is getting new leaves, and that one has like a new leaf. So perhaps, I don't know. I started it really late in the season, and it's like 120-day growth, and there's no hope really that I'll get any fruit from it. But I'm gonna do it anyway, just to try and to figure out what does and does not work to help grow it along, so that next year when I'm trying to grow a real watermelon and I start in like April, I will have a much better clue. Although I do have to invest in lights for inside. I have noticed that. Canada, man, Canada. See you later.